Hello, white people. I am not sure if you follow any prepper channels. On one of the prepper channels that I follow on YouTube, the gal, she posted something about this company, Unanswered Standard. I think it's a distribution facility, that their headquarters facility burned down. That's pretty weird. Why would it burn down? Does anything burn down to the ground these days? No, not in the United States. It's very unusual for something to burn down to the ground. I don't know if you see this. You can see this picture here. There's several pictures here. Buildings just do not burn down to the nubs like this. This is highly unusual. Look at the barrels there. Do you see that? That's very unusual. It doesn't happen very often. And then I looked to see if there was a mainstream news story about it. A fire burning down a food distribution facility. That would hit at least their local news. No, it's in this little publication, Columbia Gorge News. Oh my gosh. Let's check out this story and see what sort of red flags pop up. Dufur is a city in Oregon, just right at the bottom of the Mount Hood National Forest. So in Dufur, Oregon, they're pretty sensitive about fires out there because they're near a forest. If you have a forest that's on fire, you have a forest fire, and that is a pretty big deal because it's pretty hard to get under control. But anyway, the article. The headquarters of Unanswered Standard, the nation's premier independent distributor of organic and healthy food, was destroyed by fire overnight. There were no injuries. The cause of the fire is unknown and under investigation. The loss of the facility and the impact on company-wide operations is being assessed and expected to be limited and temporary. No other Unanswered Standard facilities were affected. Unanswered Standard founder and CEO David Stelzer issued the following statement. While the HQ facility is a total loss and a few product lines will be affected for the short term, other Unanswered Standard facilities are operating as close to normal as possible. Most importantly, we are grateful no one was injured. Our dedication to providing the highest quality food and products will continue as always. We ask for your patience and prayers as we take steps to adjust and rebuild. We appreciate our Unanswered community and the many expressions of support we are receiving and will continue to update our vendors and customers as needed. We expect the impact to be short-term, limited in scope, and manageable. He also added, for our customers, 3 primary product groups are effective due to the destroyed automated liquid pour facility, fruit packing facilities, and care products facilities, he continued. Because of this, we will experience out-of-stock status for Unanswered market oils, honey, and vinegars, basically an Unanswered market liquid product, as well as our care products for the short term. We are not yet at fruit harvest, so no immediate impact will be experienced from the loss of our fruit packing facility. None of the products we distribute for our vendors will be affected, he concluded. All right, so how does a building that big burn down to the ground near the foothills of a mountain and near a forest? What about their sprinkler system, the fire retardant that comes out of the sprinkler system? I don't think it's water, especially if they had oils, stuff that you can't put out with water once it becomes, something that's highly flammable. We live by standards here in the United States, believe it or not. And the fire marshal is supposed to come in and inspect. And then what about the emergency response crews? Where are they? Why is there no talk about that? This is very strange. Well, let's look at another article I just found today. So it was printed or written 2 days later. Hold on here. And here we go. Here is an article that is written 3 days after the fire on Columbia Community Connection News. And still no local media picked it up. Just these 2 publications. No video media. Strange. Unanswered Standard warehouse near Dufur burns to the ground. No one injured. Okay, so in this picture, at least, we see some emergency response crews, but they look like police cars to me. And look how hot that fire is burning. So in the article here, it says vegetable and nut oils brought fierce flames at the Azure Standard warehouse and main office in Dufur on Monday, April 18th, when the building caught on fire for reasons that are yet unknown. Lights flickered, they heard a pop and went up there to check it out, and there was a fire. Who is this we? Who's this they? According to a report made to Wasco County 911 records listed in the Wasco County Sheriff's log. Azure is an independent distributor of natural, organic, and non-GMO foods, as well as home health, outdoor, and garden-related products. According to company information, it employs around 150 people, including many from the Dalles and Dufur region. These are just volunteer firefighters. So let's see here. Fire Chief John Kaiser Jr. with Dufur Volunteer Fire and Ambulance said he got the call for the commercial fire at 79705 Deerfield Valley Road at 11:13 p.m., Monday, April 18th. When he arrived, he said the stucco building with a metal roof had already ventilated, meaning a hole was in the roof and flames could be seen coming out of it or out of the top. Several neighbors were on site, as well as Azure Standard CEO David Seltzer. This one here has a T in the name, the other one didn't. Kaiser was commanding an engine and a tender and had a total of 4 people to fight the blaze upon arrival. Other fire agencies were called but would not be on scene for about 45 minutes. Kaiser said he had called his dad, John Kaiser, who also showed up on scene shortly thereafter to provide point on safety. Seltzer was removing paperwork from the building when Kaiser said he arrived at the fire. Huh. Now that doesn't sound sketchy. Well, I don't know. He said they stopped people from entering the building, which was loaded with fuels including vegetable and nut oils made from canola, coconut, and olives. No one was injured during the fire. Kaiser said that the power to the building was still on at the transformer, which is a no-go as far as entering the building is concerned. The stucco kept the heat on the inside of the building, Kaiser Jr. said, noting when he got close to it, it was so hot that it made his turnouts off. I'm reading that wrong. It was so hot that it made his turnouts off gas. With engine 32 and tender 31, they ran hoses and began wetting the fire down, but used their water conservatively as they had only 3,500 gallons on board. Their equipment can spray up to 500 gallons per minute, but reinforcements were more than half hour away. Kaiser also pointed out that water is not effective in an oil fire. Yeah, we know that, noting it merely pushes the fire around. Oil, needs to be suffocated by oxygen removing with foam products, which they did not have. Right, they just needed a couple of boxes of baking soda, they'd be fine. Kaiser said they later located a water supply from the nearby lake and were eventually able to draw water, sending it to their engine, then pumping it to a Waymick tender with a deck gun that could pump thousands of gallons into the center of the building. Eventually, fire apparatus from Mid-Columbia Fire, Waymick, Tige Valley, Antelope, Juniper Flat, Mosier, even Shineko, I read that wrong too, Shinkio, turned out to assist with the blaze. Kaiser said he was on scene for 5 hours as additional fire agencies arrived and assisted, some of which were staged at the Dufur Grange Hall as they organized the site of the fire. However, the building could not be saved. Here's another picture of the building. We had to battle it from the exterior by the time the power company got there. It caved in on itself, he said. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Representatives from the state fire marshal's office arrived on Tuesday morning. However, Kaiser said they could not start sifting through the rubble as the fire was still hot as of this morning, April 20th. Really? Still hot, huh? The CCC News has reached out to Azure for comment. Azure's CEO Stelter said the loss of the facility and the impact on the company-wide operations is being assessed and expected to be limited and temporary in a press release. We appreciate our Azure community, and the many expressions of support we are receiving, he wrote. Here is a map of the facility. So they have in Oregon, near the Columbia River, they have 3 locations. This one here near the Mount Hood, Dufur, Oregon. Let's see, here we go. Let's see what we can find out from this one. Well, let's go to the reviews. Not good reviews. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Adam Smith. I tried so hard to support Azure as opposed to the behemoth in Seattle. I ordered about 6 or 7 times over the last couple of years because they have to pay for shipping, or you have to pay for shipping. I ordered 1 large box. They were always out of 1 item, but posted an expected arrival date, so I would wait even though I ran out of a couple items in the cart. Each time the date arrives, the item suddenly goes out of stock without a date, so you'll put off an order for 2 months and show up by empty-handed. Additionally, they don't package their items very well. This resulted in a 32-ounce bottle of maple syrup glazing $200 worth of merchandise and leaving my lobby a sticky mess. They gave me store credit for the syrup, but everything had to be rinsed, repackaged, mopped, etc. It was a mess. It's so wonderful a company steps up and offers organic bulk, but in the end, I just don't think this place is worth your time. Sorry, I wish them luck. So this is how their stuff leaked. Alright, we're just going to look at the negative reviews. This one here is pretty bad. I purchased from Azure 2 times. I got an assortment of things in my first delivery, including a 25-pound bag of their organic raw sugar. Anyway, so he ordered again. He thought he was ordering the same stuff. They sent him completely different things. They have really bad practices, and let's see here. Not on this one here, but the warehouse. Let's see, that's the call center. Here's the warehouse over here. And let's see if I can find the reviews. I don't know. Whoops, I must have hit the wrong button. Just a second here. There we go. Let's see if it'll take it to where I want to be this time. All right, so here is pictures of one of their warehouses, and if you look up here, do you see the sprinkler system up there? There's a sprinkler system right here. Again, you see the sprinkler system if you look up on the ceiling. All right, so they have a sprinkler system. That should have stopped the fire. They should have safety protocols for when oily stuff catches on fire. They didn't. What do you think caused this fire? I don't know. It could be lots of things, but they sound like a company that is not doing real well. And they sabotaged themselves. That's my guess. I could be wrong. All right, white people, that's the damage for now. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to your thoughts below.